Hey, it's me again, Ravenflower. I am responding. This is a VR to Madden Luna in regards to, what is it, the seven witchy things tag? I don't know, whatever. It's a tag to her. She said that she had gotten it from Akasha Wolf. So, I'm giving credit where credit is due, but again, uh, she had made mention that all these tag videos are, everybody gets a hold of them and then they tag, and so you don't really know where they came from. So if that's not accurate, please don't blame me. But anyhow, VR response to Madam Luna, Miss Taggerific Wonderfulness. I love you, by the way. I think you're super adorable. Okay, 7 witchy questions, 7 witchy tag. Here we go. What was your number one? What was your biggest spell disaster? Oh my god. So, before I had moved my altar, my little tiny altar was kind of like next to the fridge, and above there's like a cabinet above, and so I had this like little teeny like dinky space, right? It was probably, I don't know, like 20 by 20 inches little space that I was trying to do everything, and it was not working, hence the move. So I was doing some candle anointing. Well, I was anointing the candle, with frankincense oil, and I apparently thought that, well, maybe it needs a little pop of more oil. So I'm like putting the oil on the candle that's already lit. Totally like, there was like this huge flame. It was ridiculous. And then it started to pop, like, and I'm like, holy crap, I'm going to burn my house down. Just like, this witchy thing is dangerous. And then also, I had first gotten my little cauldron and my charcoal disc, and I wasn't sure how to completely do it. A lot of trial and error. But I mean, it is what it is. So I had put like this a big chunk of frankincense. Me and the frankincense I love. A big chunk of frankincense on the charcoal disc while it was already, it was still heating up, so it wasn't completely hot. And then once the whole thing turned white underneath, the thing just started going, and there was smoke everywhere. I didn't realize how much of the resin to put on the disc. I put way too much, and I smoked everybody out. It was kind of crazy. But you learn from your mistakes, or you're doomed to repeat them. Anyhow, number 2, what is something that you wish someone had told you when you first started? This one's tricky because when I first started, being a Virgo, I decide to research a lot. So I research all the time. Research anything. You should see the itinerary for our vacation that's coming up next week. I've charted out maps, different routes, the itineraries, confirmation numbers. It's crazy. So I immediately went to YouTube and started watching videos. One of the first videos that I watched was Sunshine Morning Ray, and then Lady Grave Dancer right after that. Well, Sunshine Morning Ray was a doll, was an absolute doll, and I was struggling with the loss of, I turned away from Christianity, and I had learned, I guess, in my path, and understand this is just my path. I had taken a world civilization course and learned a lot about my Christian path was, for me, at least my research, again, I don't want to offend anybody, but for me, that a lot of what I was taught over the years was really a way of control. It was, these were not actual facts, and that the Christian religion is, the Christian church was really it was meant to control people, and that type of stuff. So I was mourning the loss of my religion, if that makes sense. And Sunshine Morning Ray had responded to me in a Facebook, a private message and she helped me with a little bit of that. I don't know if she realized what she had done, but she was very candid, very sweet, and I was trying to figure out, how am I going to have a relationship with my very Christian sister when here I am going through the loss, mourning the loss of my religion. I mean, it was literally like the REM song, "That's Me in a Corner, Losing My Religion." And Sunshine Morning Ray came through for me on that, and helped me out. So that was one of the first things that she had, that somebody had told me when I first started, and that set the precedence for me to start learning. YouTube, I think, has been great because I do research and I read. I don't like to read very much, but and I can get so much from reading, but I really learn by watching, by doing, is just the best way for me. So I wish maybe somebody would have told me, like, you don't have to just get books. You can go on YouTube and you can research how to do a water spell, what gems are for calming, what herbs are for this. That would have been better for me and probably would have saved me some time. Okay, so number 3, what is your biggest pet peeve? I have to agree with you, Madam Luna. I don't like know-it-alls very much at all, and don't really tolerate them. If anything that I have learned in this path is that it is all about your intention, your way of seeing things. Different herbs, resins, stones, all that other stuff may come with like a recipe list, and I believe that it's suggested. It's a suggested recipe list, if you will, because I get different energy from different things that my friend may have, oh, this is great for sleep and calming and anxiety. Well, for me, it might be something else. And, Lady Gravedancer, in one of her videos I watched recently, touched on that, like with jet. The stone jet, she has an adverse reaction to. And for other people, it works perfectly for. So I don't like the know-it-alls because I don't think that it's cookie cutter. I don't think so at all. And I think that your magic has to do more with your intention and more with your connection to the universe and the energies that you're working with than it does for the written documentation of somebody else's experience. That's good to look at and kind of like review, but most of it is just you. The other thing that I freaking hate, I just hate it, is the assumption that some people have that apparently us witches are just sluts. And so I luckily, if you watched any of my other videos, luckily the dick pictures have stopped. I don't know if it's because I've posted so much on Facebook, and video or whatever, that, this has just got to stop. It was laughable, and it got to a point where, I was laughing it off. It wasn't bothering me as much, but once I stopped, accepting everybody on Facebook, things got a little bit better for me. And then I also, held my ground, and it's just like, look, dude, that's nice, but I'm not here for that. The assumption that us witches are all like these over sexual, nymphomaniac people is a little ridiculous. Now, I am a monogamous witch, so I'm not looking for any play. So I don't like it when I have this much time to get everything done, and I'm interrupted with something like that. It kind of drives me crazy, and it's actually made me very cautious to communicate with people through Facebook Messenger, because I'm not really sure what they want, and I don't really know where it's going, and then all of a sudden, bam, dick picture. I'm like, ugh. So that's definitely one of my big pet peeves. Okay, number 4. When did you first know you were a witch? This is kind of a stumper for me too, because I've always felt very connected. I've always been drawn to lots of things. Like I've told y'all that my grandmother was a light healer. My cousin also is a Reiki. She's in her Reiki master studies. We all kind of have a little bit of something. I've seen ghosts. I've heard ghosts. Talking to ghosts for a very long time before my Christian time frame. And then since then, things have started happening for me again. So I think that I always sort of knew, but when I actually started practicing the way I have been, and I'm going to be honest, I knew I was a witch a long time ago, and I knew that I should have been doing this, but the truth of the matter was I didn't have time for it, and I knew how much time it was going to take, and so I put it off. I really did. I put it off, and I think I was just too lazy. I knew what kind of commitment it was, and I wasn't willing to make the commitment. So I'm gonna say 4, 5, but I really didn't actually start practicing until 8, 9 months ago. Didn't start researching it until like 9, 10 months ago. But I mean, I've had picked up stuff, here and there, watched lots of movies, and was very attracted to the whole thing from early get-go. What is your favorite witchy book? My favorite witchy book, if y'all haven't noticed, this is my favorite witchy book. I absolutely love it. Grimoire for the Green Witch by Anne Mora. Complete Book of Shadows. And this is no lie. I just wish that it was labeled out better. But, I mean, it's got dang near everything in here. I am transferring a lot of this information into my personal Book of Shadows, which I still need to figure out what kind of... That is some work, the Book of Shadows situation. I'm not sure what I'm doing with it, but things that are working for me, things that haven't worked for me, I feel like I can put in there. But I mean, like, here's, the ritual for cakes and wines, here's calling the corners, here's opening a circle, closing a circle, I mean, all kinds of stuff. They also have, let me show you back here, they've got zodiac associations. There's all kinds of planetary spirits. Quick spell charts. So if you are stumped, which I totally was when I first started, when to do a spell. And again, I do believe that it is, an intention. I don't think that we have to absolutely follow this, but this is a great place to start. But, like your goal, if you want happiness, it says here, in order to set your spell up, here you go, happiness. You want to do that in a waxing or a full moon. Color association would be gold, yellow, or pink. Element would be water and air. The day of the week in order to do it would be Thursday, Friday, or Sunday. Planet is Sun, Venus, Jupiter. Numbers are 1, 4, 5, 6, and 8. You've got ogums, you've got runes, you've got herbs to work with, incense, and the stones. So that has kind of... I wish I would have found this a lot sooner, because I was stumped for a while. But anyhow, this book is kind of awesome, and it gives you magical oil recipes, it gives you tea recipes, divination stuff, all kinds of stuff. Tarot. There's even a thing on here in palmistry or palm reading. Let me see if I can... Yep, there it is. This is an awesome book. This is a freaking awesome book. I got this from the Unlimited Thought bookstore. And it was $21.99. I'm sure you can also get it on Amazon. It may be less expensive, it may not, but it is worth every penny. This has been pretty much my witchy Bible. Love it. Okay, now number 6, best witchy TV show or movie. TV show, I know everybody has the go-to for Charmed. I never liked Charmed. I always thought it was really hokey, and just couldn't get into it. I could just never get into it. Also, when I was younger, I'll have to put a picture of what I used to look like back before I got chubby. People used to confuse me. I lived in the LA area. People used to confuse me with Alyssa Milano when I was younger. We're about the same age. We certainly look nothing alike now. However, it used to annoy the hell out of me. So I maybe that's why I don't like Charmed. Who knows? But I really have enjoyed and totally sad that it didn't get renewed, but I really liked The Witches of East End. I really loved the pagan aspect of it, and the sort of the Norse gods, part of it, and I really liked that one. So that Witches of East End for my favorite, probably witchy show. Of course, you can go back to Bewitched, and I loved that too. The show, not the movie. The movie's okay, but I don't feel that anybody has to give up their witchcraft or their craft or their gifts for the love of a man. That's BS. Favorite movie is Practical Magic all the way. Practical Magic, I can watch forever and a day. If the thing could be on repeat, I think I know every line. I love Sandra Bullock in it. I love the ants. I love Nicole Kidman, and I really think Nicole Kidman is a witch in real life. I'm telling you right now. You heard it here first. I think she is. Anywho, I just love that movie. I love the house. I looked up online and found the blueprints for that house, and in fact, that house was built for the movie, and they only did the kitchen, the garden, and like the apothecary, greenhouse room or the sunroom. Let's see, the living room there, and then there was like one other room that they had done, which I think was the one where Nicole Kidman's boyfriend is like coming out of her, he had like taken root in her or something. It was like where they had slept, but they had built it just for that on a like a reservation, like a wildlife reserve up in Washington, and then they built it just for the movie, and then they had to tear the whole thing down, so it doesn't exist anywhere. You can't go and find it anywhere. And I would just love that house. I would love to live in that house. So freaking awesome. But I love the Practical Magic movie. I love the fact that there was that connection, that sisterhood. I love the fact that they overcome the assumptions of the other local ladies, and they all work together at the end to overcome that nasty demon guy. And then and I just loved the connection between the witchy family, the aunts and the sisters. And then also the daughters too of the next generation. And I'm telling you, who wouldn't want that garden? Who wouldn't want that kitchen? Who wouldn't want that room filled with all that stuff? Is just awesome. And I also like the fact that they do not take it to a dark place. I like that they promote that there is no devil in the craft. My biggest switch from Christianity to my pagan path was like, oh my gosh, the horned god, he looks just like the devil. And then I go and do the research on it, and it's like, well, yeah, because the Christian church totally took that horned god and brainwashed people for years, saying that was an evil, horrible thing. And so that's why that's where that fear came from in me. So I love the fact that they don't go there. They just don't go there, and it's just lovely. It's a great story. She calls, she makes, love's true spell, and calls her love, from over space and time. You know what? If you haven't seen Practical Magic, then you haven't lived life. I'm telling you now. I love it so much. Okay, moving on. Okay, last question. Have you ever doubted your path? The path, no. I've always known that I need to be here and I'm on the right path. Navigating on that path, trying to figure out what works and doesn't work is kind of a stumper sometimes. I doubt myself, but not my path. I sometimes doubt where I get my information from, and then I do some more research, but then, once I'm calm, once I'm still, once I, ask Goddess and God, hey, yo, what's going on? I feel guided right back there. I know that there's a connection. I've always known there's this connection, and I've always known that I need to do something about it. And so here I am doing it. So no, I've never doubted my path. Doubted me sometimes, though, I'm going to tell you. Especially when stuff is blowing up in my face. But, you work through it. You witch through it, right? Okay. Now the tagging portion. I got a lot of you. Now, I know that Madame Luna said that she tagged everybody who had done the last tag, hence why I'm doing this video. So I know, Nate the K, you had done that, and I tagged you last time, but since she tagged everybody, then you're probably already tagged. So I would love to hear from you because you crack me up, dude. But I tag the Lady Grave Dancer because you're awesome and I love you. And I tag Joey Morris because you rock and I love you. Lady Willow Rain, I tag you because I know you're new and you're working all kinds of stuff in your walk, and I think that you can totally rock this as well. Her Speak, Miss Molly, I am new to watching your videos, and I started watching your videos because Ember Honey Raven and I believe Arwen, Tarot by Arwen, had been talking about you, and I started jumping on your channel, and honey, you are awesome. I love you. So yes, I tag you. Potion 52 Silver Moon, you have not done a video in a very long time. I am moving to Washington and would like a connection with you. And so, Potion 52, Miss Silver Moon, I want to hear from you. So I want to hear these tag questions. Whispers of 3 and Miss Derrie. Miss Derrie, I know you're going to do the video first because you always jump on it, and I love that about you. And I love your positivity. So, peoples, you're tagged. Tag, you're it.